first collegiate touchdown. If y'all would please identify your name and affiliation prior to asking a question, we greatly appreciate it. And y'all fire away whenever you're ready.
Grayson Mann with TigerNet.com. Can you just describe the play call for your first collegiate touchdown and what you're thinking in that moment?
Well, the play call, I had an in route, which was like 12 yards, and I seen the corner, or not the corner, the safety sit, and like that made the zone perfect. So like he was able to throw it right to where I needed to be, and as I caught the ball and scored, it just felt good.
Just John Blau with the Post and Courier. Just in terms of the transition coming in the summer, I mean, how much was it really, I guess, a steep climb to kind of learn the offense and get comfortable, I guess?
Well, it wasn't more about learning the offense. It was more about like getting out of my old high school habits. Like everything is more faster paced. So I just have to get used to that.
I guess what would be an example of like some of the high school habits that you had to get rid of?
Like in high school, we weren't really like told to run to the ball every play, and like coming into Clemson, it's a new standard. So I had to learn like real quick that after every play, you run to the ball, no matter you get the ball or not.
I guess Tyler Brown was telling us that like you're so smooth in terms of the way you run your routes, like sometimes almost too smooth. Like you have to kind of get more kind of define your coach. I guess like how much is that something that you had to work on?
That's something me and Coach Grisham talk about. My motor. Sometimes I need to work on like when I need to like actually accelerate rather than like being smooth. Sometimes on some routes I need to be faster than being slower. That's something I'm working on also.
David Hood with TigerNet.com. I talked a little bit with your grandmother down there in Atlanta before the game, and he was saying that he spent so many hours running up and down the fence at your high school games, kind of following you, and your dad whistling at you, kind of letting you know what he sees. What was that like, having that kind of support at those games and having people so invested in everything that you do?
Well, it meant a lot to me because like ever since my dad was on his football journey, we've always been like real tight. So seeing him and like my grandpa at the games, it just means a lot. And even at the college games, I can hear his whistle in the crowd, and like I hear a lot of people, but like I hear his whistle out of everybody. It's crazy.
Can you tell what the whistles mean?
It's really just to get my attention, like let me know it's okay, and just to let him know, or just let me know he's there.
They said that when you were little, that if you saw football and an adult, you just took off running, like you were born to be a wide receiver. 3 years old, it doesn't matter. You see a football and you just take off, expect somebody to throw it to you. You feel like you were born to do this?
Yes, sir.
What was that like growing up, where football's always within reach and you're always just running routes?
Well, like I said, my dad, he was in college when he had me. Not in college, he was like in high school, like leaving high school. So I was young when he was playing college, and like I'd always be around him and his teammates. So it was just like a good environment for me, and that really made me see that I wanted to play football.
Do you remember playing on the line when you first started in some of
I
that
do.
midget league stuff?
I do. That was funny. I had like number 62. It was crazy.
When did they kind of first notice that, maybe they needed to put you somewhere else? I think they said they put you in the backfield.
Yeah, it was the year after that I started making plays, and they seen that I had some type of speed, so they were like, okay, let's try him at running back, and from there it started to grow and grow and grow.
When did you start making like one-handed catches and stuff like that? Because I remember seeing like you training and catching balls behind your back and stuff.
Maybe since like I first started playing like an athletic position. My dad always has trained me to do stuff like that. He makes sure that you catch the ball first, no matter if it's one hand, two hands. Preferably two hands, but if it needs to be one hand, one hand.
So would you literally throw the ball at you and make you catch it with one hand?
Yeah, he'll throw like a tennis ball. He'll go right, catch it with my right hand. Tennis ball left hand. He'll drop and make me react to it, all that type of stuff.
How early, Darian Carter from the News, how early have you and your dad kind of been working on those types of drills?
Maybe since I was 9, since I lived in Key West. It's always been me and him just training.
What is your relationship with Bryant Wesco? How has that kind of formed as you guys got to Clemson? How's it kind of grown to what it is today?
Well, like since we were committed, like we knew each other, we weren't too close, but like once I got to campus, we started to become friends and started to grow a better relationship. Now we talk every day. That's one of my boys.
How did you guys kind of get acclimated to Clemson together? What have you guys kind of done to kind of get to know each other, and things like that?
Well, we'll go like catch the ball with each other, or I see him out a couple times, so we just chat here and there. I'll text him, this and that, and he's a good dude.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about like the impact that you and Brian could have as freshmen. But when you actually see you guys doing it on the field, like Brian having the catches he had, and you being able to score a touchdown, does it kind of bring a realization that like, oh, we can do this, like we're a part of this now? Kind of like does it boost your confidence, I guess, in any way?
Not really. I mean, it does, but like I'm not a cocky type of person, so I'm not one to talk about it. But seeing Brian make the big plays he was making made me happy, cause like I hear people talking about me and him, and it's just like, yeah, my boy's out there doing it.
How much did you played in the Georgia game? Then you could kind of not the game you guys wanted to have. You could kind of bounce back on Saturday. How did that game kind of playing Georgia kind of help prepare you for App State and kind of have that day that you and the offense had?
Well, Georgia's a really good team, and I felt like that was a great start to the season, like playing that caliber of a team. And then that kind of gave us a look for like the rest of the season. So now we have an expectation of where we need to play to, and like we just executed the right way this last Saturday.
I talked to Coach McIntyre, and he said he had no doubts that you were going to be successful at this level. When I asked why, he said you'd always been on the go. You'd been a few weeks old with your dad out in Mesa, Arizona on the sidelines with your mom in Kansas or Pennsylvania, wherever. You moved to Key West, and then they decided it would be best for you if you moved up maybe to the Tampa area. But you've always handled that change really well. Do you feel like that has kind of led you to be the person that you are?
Yeah, we moved plenty of places. Got to meet like plenty of my dad's friends. I got to learn from them specifically. Like I've met tons of people. Now anytime I go anywhere new, I shake somebody's hand, introduce myself, meet new people. I like to learn from like my family's friends, because like they all have different types of knowledge. You're not the same person. I feel like that brought me to be like the person I am now.
I think I heard like before camp started, you were gonna be with Stephon Diggs and Tyrod Taylor in Florida. Did that actually happen? And
Yeah.
what was that like to be able to work with them?
So I wasn't able to actually work out with Stephon Diggs, but like I was able to talk to him, hear some knowledge from him. Tyrod's a good dude. I'm glad I got the opportunity to meet them. Like, Stephon, he's real smart. Like, he's smart with the game. And like that brought like a new like a new aspect to the game to me. And Tyrod is very wise. Like he's been in the league for a long time, and so he was giving me little pointers here and there. He's telling me that the difference between college football and the NFL football at a receiver position, instead of like this much space, you have this much space to make the play. So like he was just giving me all these different pointers.
Did Stephon Diggs have anything interesting to say?
Yeah, he was telling me that to always keep level head and like don't forget who you are as a player. Things like that.
You mentioned they kind of talked about the margin barrier being like different, tighter in the NFL compared to college. I guess have you tried to navigate that? Have you tried to fit in those NFL margins, or are you just trying to make best what you can so far early in your career?
Well, like at my position, I'm told, okay, like I was saying, like you have this much room to make a play in the NFL. That's how much room I'm trying to like give myself here. Like if the ball's coming at me, I'm trying to make the play no matter PI, whatever. As long as it's in my reach, I'm gonna try to get it.
You also heard that you were a big Spider-Man person growing up. Well, why'd you gravitate to Spider-Man?
I don't know. I just love Spider-Man. I got plenty of pictures of me wearing Spider-Man stuff. Just always been something I've been interested in.
Did you watch the Into the Spider-Verse the movies?
I did.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Which one's your favorite?
The second one.
I guess do you envision yourself kind of being Spider-Man, making plays out in the field, or is that separate?
Oh, well, I was told when I catch the ball, like, the ball sticks to me like Spider-Man, so that's just always been something I thought was funny.
Any questions for TJ virtually?
Hey, TJ, this is Chapel Fowler with the state. Could you take us back to your recruiting process and just kind of in hindsight how all that played out and how Clemson won out over everybody else who wanted you?
Well, my recruiting process, it didn't start until after spring of high school, or spring of my sophomore year. And at first, it started off slow, but then after one game, it started to blow up. And when it came down to making my final decision, there were teams throwing money at me, this and that, trying to bribe me. But like Clemson felt right. Clemson is what I was taught to like want when I was a kid. Like, you have the proper role models. You have Coach Sweeney's a great role model. Matter of fact, like everything he does, I just really appreciate. He stops like any player, doesn't matter who it is. He at least says hi to you at least 3-4 times a day, no matter if he's seen you or not. He'll text you. He calls my mom. He keeps great contact with my family. I just really respect Coach Sweeney, and that's what made me like gravitate toward Clemson, and just the whole like, what's the word? The whole, just Clemson in general, made me feel great, and I just knew that was the right decision.
And since you just mentioned your mom, you talked about your dad and how he's helped you. What about your mom and how she's kind of supported you and got you to where you are right now as well?
My mom's been more of like on the mental side. She's always taught me like, she's always been there to ask me if anything was wrong. She was always there when I was sad or if I was mad, if I was happy. She's just always been like a shoulder I could go to whenever I needed it.
Anybody else for TJ?
What after what game was it that your recruiting blew up? I guess what happened in that game?
It was Sarasota my junior year, the first game of the season. I had 4 catches for like 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I feel like that just blew me up out of nowhere. Like I started getting, I maybe got like 20 offers after that game.
Anyone else? All right, TJ, appreciate your time, man. Great job.